You ever notice how some women don't even try to get attention, yet somehow they stay on a man's mind long after she's left the room? It's not about looks. It's not about status. It's the natural habits that speak louder than words. The way she moves, talks, listens, it all leaves an impression. Men might not always admit it, but there are certain things women do, effortlessly, that we just can't stop thinking about. And today, I'm going to break down the 7 habits that make that kind of unforgettable impact. You know, there's something about confidence that doesn't need to announce itself. It's not loud. It doesn't come dressed in perfection or wrapped up in a fancy outfit. It's quiet, steady, and real. When a woman walks into a room and she's not trying to be seen, but she still is, that's the kind of confidence that stays in a man's head. It's not about her being the center of attention. It's about the way she carries herself, like she's comfortable in her own story. She's not trying to impress anyone. She's not pretending to be someone else. She just knows who she is. And that right there, that's what makes her unforgettable. See, men notice when a woman moves with ease, not ego. When her body language says, "I belong here," without her needing to prove it. It's in the way she walks, not rushed, not hesitant, but with quiet certainty. It's in the way she smiles, not forced, not overly practiced, but genuine. Confidence like that doesn't come from validation. It comes from peace, from a woman who's done the work to know her worth, even when nobody's clapping for her. That's the kind of energy that can stop a man mid-sentence and make him think, who is she? And the truth is, it's not about her looks. Because confidence isn't found in the mirror. It's felt in the energy she brings. A woman who's comfortable with herself gives off a different kind of presence. You can feel it when she walks into a room. There's no need to compete, no need to compare. She's not measuring herself against anyone else because she's not running their race. She's walking her own path at her own pace. And that kind of authenticity, that quiet ownership of who she is, draws people in without her saying a word. Men may not always be able to explain it, but they can sense it. When a woman carries herself with self-respect, it reflects in everything she does. It's in her posture, in the way she makes eye contact, in the way she communicates. She doesn't shrink herself to make others comfortable, and she doesn't exaggerate herself to stand out. She just is. And that balance of knowing she's enough without needing to prove it is powerful. It's the kind of power that doesn't shout, but whispers in a man's mind long after she's gone. There's also something deeply attractive about a woman who doesn't chase attention because she knows her value doesn't depend on it. She's not playing games or trying to outshine anyone. She's simply showing up as herself, and that's enough. That's what men remember. Not the loudest person in the room, but the one whose presence quietly commands respect. Because real confidence doesn't demand, it inspires. It makes people straighten up, listen closer, and wonder how someone can be so calm in their own skin. And let's be honest, life can be noisy. Everyone's trying to prove something, trying to be noticed, trying to be validated. So when a woman steps in and just is confident, steady, unbothered, it stands out. It's like still water in a world full of waves. There's peace in that, and men feel it. It's the kind of peace that draws you closer, not because she's trying to pull you in, but because her calm makes you want to match it. That kind of confidence doesn't come from pretending to be strong all the time. It comes from embracing her imperfections, from knowing that she's been through things, and she's still standing. It's strength wrapped in softness. It's grace mixed with resilience. And it's rare. So when a man sees that, a woman who moves through the world like she belongs there, who's comfortable being herself, who doesn't need attention to feel seen, he doesn't forget it, because deep down, it's not her beauty that lingers in his mind. It's her peace. You know what really stands out to a man? It's when a woman listens. I mean, really listens. Not just waiting for her turn to talk, not trying to win an argument or offer advice right away, but listening with that kind of focus that makes him feel like, in that moment, he's the only one in the world. That's rare, because in a world where everyone's trying to be heard, someone who chooses to truly hear you, that hits different. And for a man, that kind of presence, that kind of understanding, doesn't just make an impression, it stays with him. There's a quiet strength in a woman who listens without judgment. When she doesn't interrupt with criticism or rush to fix what he's saying, she's not trying to analyze every word or turn it into something it's not. She's just there, and that presence alone builds trust. You can almost see it happen. A man starts to open up more, he starts to breathe easier, because suddenly he's not defending himself. He's being understood, and that's something most men don't get enough of. See, men aren't always great at putting their emotions into words. They don't always have the language for what they're feeling, so when they do try to express it, and someone actually takes the time to listen, to look them in the eye, to nod, to say, "I get that," it hits them deeper than they can admit. It's not about the advice. It's about the feeling of safety. The feeling that they don't have to perform or explain or be perfect. They can just be real. And that's powerful. A woman who listens like that doesn't just make a man feel heard. She makes him feel valued. Because listening isn't just about the ears. It's about the heart. It's about being curious, not critical. It's paying attention to what's being said and what's not being said. It's noticing when his tone changes, when his eyes drop, when he hesitates. It's hearing the story behind the words. And when a man feels that kind of understanding, it softens him. It makes him open up in ways he didn't think he could. And here's the thing. Most men don't forget that feeling. Because it's not common. They're used to being judged, misunderstood, or told to man up. But when a woman just listens, really listens, she creates a kind of connection that can't be faked. She's not just hearing a story, she's seeing the person behind it. And that's when something shifts. Because for men, respect is everything. But to feel understood, that's sacred. And it's not about agreeing with everything he says, either. It's about respect. You can disagree and still listen. You can challenge and still care. But it's the tone, the timing, and the empathy that make all the difference. When she listens with intention, not to fix him, not to lecture him, but to know him, she becomes unforgettable. Men remember that woman, the one who didn't rush to fill the silence, the one who didn't make them feel small for being honest, the one who didn't see their vulnerability as weakness, but as trust. Because when a man opens up, he's taking a risk. He's stepping into a space he doesn't visit often. And when that space feels safe, when it feels seen, he connects that feeling to her. He remembers it. It's not dramatic. It's not showy. But it's real. And real connection, real understanding, it's rare. A woman who listens not just with her ears, but with her presence, makes a man feel something he can't easily describe. He might forget the conversation itself, but he won't forget how it made him feel. Because in that moment, he didn't just feel heard. He felt known. You can tell a lot about a person by the way they treat people who can do nothing for them. And men notice that more than most women think. It's not just how she treats him when things are good, or how she acts when she's getting attention. It's the small, almost invisible moments. The way she speaks to a waiter, how she reacts when someone makes a mistake, how she treats a stranger on a bad day, that's what reveals her heart. And when a woman has that quiet, natural kindness, the kind that isn't performed, the kind that just flows from who she is, it leaves an impression that doesn't fade. There's something deeply beautiful about a woman who's kind without needing recognition. She doesn't do it for praise or for people to say how good she is. It's not strategic, it's sincere. It's the way she asks if someone's okay when everyone else just walks by. It's the way she shows patience when she has every reason to lose it. It's the way she looks people in the eye and treats them with dignity, no matter who they are. That kind of kindness, it's magnetic. It's not dramatic, but it's unforgettable. Men notice it, even if they don't always say it out loud. They see how she treats others, and it tells them everything they need to know about how she'll treat them. Because compassion isn't something you can fake for long, it's a habit, a reflex. And when a woman moves through the world with that steady, grounded kindness, it speaks to something deep in a man. It makes him feel safe. It makes him feel like he's around someone whose strength doesn't come from control or power, but from grace. Kindness has a quiet confidence to it. It's not weak. It's not naive. It's strong because it requires patience, empathy, and humility. A woman who's kind in moments where she could easily be cold, that's a woman who has self-control. And men respect that. They notice when she doesn't match other people's negativity, when she doesn't let frustration turn her bitter, when she chooses to respond with grace instead of ego. That's rare. And that's powerful. It's also the kind of thing that lingers. Because beauty fades, words can be forgotten, but how someone makes you feel, that stays. When a man watches a woman bring warmth into a room, light up someone's bad day, or show care for people she doesn't even know, it makes him think differently about her. It's not just admiration, it's appreciation. He sees that her beauty runs deeper than what's visible. He realizes her presence doesn't just attract attention, it adds something to the space around her. And that kind of woman, that kind of energy doesn't leave his mind easily. And maybe that's because kindness isn't loud. It doesn't demand to be noticed. It's in the small gestures. Holding the door open, remembering someone's name, offering encouragement without expecting anything back, listening to someone who's struggling and not judging them for it. It's simple, but it's rare enough that when a man sees it, he can't ignore it. Because he knows that kind of heart doesn't come along every day. And it's not about perfection. Kind people get tired too. They have bad days, they have limits. But the difference is, even in those moments, they don't lose their humanity. They might step back, but they don't step out of character. They don't let the world harden them. That resilience, the ability to stay kind in a world that isn't always kind back, is something men deeply respect, even if they never put it into words. When a woman has that kind of goodness in her, quiet, steady, unforced, it leaves a lasting mark. Because long after her words fade and the moment passes, what he remembers most isn't what she said or what she wore. It's how she made people feel. And that's the kind of beauty that never goes unnoticed. There's something incredibly captivating about a woman who has her own sense of direction. The kind of woman who doesn't wait for someone else to hand her purpose, but wakes up knowing what drives her, what she stands for, what she wants to build. It's not about being overly ambitious or trying to prove a point. It's about having that quiet sense of independence that says, I know who I am, and I'm okay standing in that. Men notice that, not because she's loud about it, but because it's rare. In a world where so many people chase attention, the woman who chases purpose stands out every time. It's in the way she moves through her day with focus. She has things she cares about deeply, her work, her growth, her goals, and she's not afraid to pour herself into them. She's not waiting around for validation, and she's not molding herself to fit anyone's expectations. She knows that her life has meaning even when nobody's watching, and that quiet independence, that ability to stand on her own 2 feet, is something that men deeply admire. Because it's not about distance, it's about strength. She's not hard to reach because she's cold, she's grounded because she values herself. Men notice when a woman has that balance. She can be soft without losing her spine. She can be loving without losing herself. And that's where independence becomes attractive. It's not rebellion, it's wholeness. A woman who knows how to love someone while still living her own story is magnetic, because she doesn't make her entire identity revolve around another person. She adds to their life without losing herself in it. That kind of confidence makes a man respect her more, not because she needs him less, but because she chooses him freely, not out of fear or dependency. And the truth is, men are drawn to that kind of energy because it reflects something steady. When a woman has her own purpose, her own peace, She brings that into a relationship. She doesn't drain. It feels like partnership. She's not asking to be saved or completed. She's already whole, and that's what makes her presence so powerful. She inspires without trying to. She challenges without criticizing. She reminds a man that life is about growing together, not attaching yourself to someone and calling it balance. It's also in the way she handles herself when things get hard. Because independence isn't just about success, it's about resilience. It's how she bounces back when things fall apart. How she carries herself after failure. How she finds her footing again without losing faith in who she is. Men see that and feel it. That kind of inner strength, that refusal to be defined by circumstances, leaves an impression that doesn't fade easily. And here's the thing, she doesn't have to talk about it. She doesn't have to constantly announce what she's doing or how strong she is. Her actions speak louder. The way she stays consistent, the way she keeps showing up, the way she honors her word, all of that builds a quiet respect around her. Men recognize that energy because it's solid. It doesn't come and go with mood or attention. It's dependable. There's something so attractive about a woman who's in control of her own happiness, who enjoys her solitude, who can spend time alone and not see it as loneliness. She's at peace with her own company. And when a man sees that, he realizes she's not looking for someone to fill a void. She's looking for someone to share her fullness with. That's a powerful difference. A woman with that kind of independence, that kind of purpose, doesn't chase. She attracts. Not because she's playing games, but because her energy says, I'm already whole. And that kind of woman stays in a man's mind, not because she needs him, but because she inspires him to become better alongside her. You ever meet someone who just feels real? No mask, no act, no pretending to have it all together. Just genuine emotion expressed exactly how it comes. That's what draws people in. And for men, that kind of authenticity in a woman, the ability to express what she feels without shame, without filters, that's something that sticks. Because it's rare. In a world where everyone's trying to appear perfect, the woman who's honest about her emotions feels like a breath of fresh air. It's not about being overly dramatic or emotional all the time. It's about being human. When she laughs fully. When she's hurt, she doesn't hide behind pride. When she's passionate about something, you can see it in her eyes, hear it in her voice. She doesn't apologize for feeling deeply. And that honesty, that willingness to be vulnerable, connects with people on a level that surface confidence never can. Men notice that, not because it's loud or attention-grabbing, but because it's real. There's something powerful about a woman who isn't afraid to be seen for who she really is. She's not scared of showing her soft side, her strength, or even her uncertainty. She's not trying to curate every moment of her life to look perfect. She just shows up as herself. And that kind of openness, that emotional transparency, makes her unforgettable, because she's not performing, she's living. Men find that kind of emotional honesty magnetic. Not because they want someone who's always happy, but because they want someone who's honest. A woman who's not afraid to say, I'm not okay right now, or that really made me happy, or that hurt. There's maturity in that. There's trust in that. It tells a man that she's strong enough to feel without running from it. And that's something most people struggle with. Because real strength isn't hiding what you feel. It's being brave enough to feel it anyway. And that's what makes it so attractive. When a woman allows herself to be emotionally open, she's showing that she's secure enough in who she is to be vulnerable. She doesn't use emotions to manipulate or to test someone, she uses them to connect. When she talks, she's not putting up walls, she's opening doors. And that kind of honesty builds intimacy because it's safe. A man can trust that what he sees is what he's really getting. There's something grounding about that kind of energy. A woman who doesn't hide behind sarcasm or indifference to protect herself, but chooses sincerity instead. She can say what she means, express what she feels, and still hold her strength. She's not ruled by emotion. She owns it. She lets it move through her, not control her. And men can feel that balance. It's what makes her presence comforting yet exciting, predictable in honesty but never dull. It's also about how she reacts when emotions run high. Because authenticity doesn't mean losing control. It means staying real even when it's uncomfortable. When she's angry, she communicates instead of attacking. When she's sad, she allows herself to process instead of pretending it's fine. That emotional maturity stands out because it's not common. It takes self-awareness, patience, and